Howdy, partners. Buck Jacuzzi here, and the tub is bubbling with fresh nonsense, 'cause it turns out Donald Trump's latest scandal involves a tattoo, a photoshopped photo, and a lie so bold it could only come from a man who thinks spray tan counts as armor. Now, I know what you're thinking. How bad could it be? It's just a tattoo. Well, sugar, when you hear the real story behind it, the one that just got leaked, you're gonna realize Trump didn't just lie. He handed the court a smoking gun and then yelled, "I rest my case." But don't worry, we'll get there in a minute. First, let's take a detour through one of Trump's favorite pastimes, saying one thing, doing another, and hoping nobody notices he's wearing flip-flops on both feet. Case in point, back in 2024, Trump was out here predicting that if Kamala Harris won, we'd all be eating soup out of tin cans and trading raccoon pelts on Wall Street.
Trump cash versus Kamala crash. We're going to have a crash like 1929 if she gets in. It will not be pretty. Thank you. This election is about the economy, inflation, open borders, illegal immigration, respect for our nation, preventing World War III and a 1929-style depression, which will happen if Kamala Harris gets into office. I've always said that people vote with their stomach, and food is now at an all-time high. We've never seen anything like it, and it's all because of Kamala and Biden and their gross incompetence. With them in charge, remember, it will only get worse.
He said it'd be a second Great Depression. Said the stock market would collapse, jobs would vanish, and the moon would probably fall out of the sky. Flash forward to now, and old Donnie gets asked if he's worried about a recession, and what's his answer? Well, yeah, everything's okay. It's a transition period. A transition period. That's what he calls a recession now. I guess if he crashes your car, he'd call it a transportation rebrand. The man went from fire and brimstone to vibes and market corrections in under a year. If hypocrisy were horsepower, Trump could outpace a bullet train, and then came the God talk. Trump gave a whole speech on the National Day of Prayer, where he praised religion like he just got baptized in a Chick-fil-A. He thanked Speaker Mike Johnson for bringing Jesus back to the Capitol and warned that the radical left was trying to get rid of one nation under God.
We're bringing back religion in our country, and we're bringing it back quickly and strongly. Because for America to be a great nation, we must always be one nation under God, a phrase that they would like to get rid of, the radical left. But Ben, I don't think we're going to let them get rid of that, right? We're not letting them get rid of that. I want to thank a man of incredible faith who's with us, Speaker Mike Johnson, for being here. He's done an incredible job.
That was Monday. By Friday, Trump was posting memes of himself dressed like the Pope. I ain't joking. He was wearing a papal robe and standing there like the Archbishop of Mar-a-Lago. This is a man who once held the Bible upside down for a photo op and thinks Corinthians 2 is a golf score. He uses religion like a paper towel, single use, then right in the trash. But now, folks, now we get to the good part. Because just when you thought things couldn't get any dumber, Trump did what he always does, turned a legal problem into a circus act and made himself the clown. See, there's a man named Kilmar Garcia, a father, a day laborer, a guy with 0 criminal convictions, who was wrongly deported to El Salvador under Trump's orders, despite a court saying don't deport him. The courts, up to and including the Supreme one, have told Trump's team to bring the man back. So what does Trump say when asked about it? I could. There's a phone on my desk.
This is not an innocent, wonderful gentleman from Maryland.
I'm not saying he's a good guy. It's about the rule of law. The order from the Supreme Court stands, sir.
He came into our country illegally.
You could get him back. There's a phone on this desk.
I could.
You could pick it up, and with all the power of the presidency, you could call up the president of El Salvador and say, send him back right now.
And if he were the gentleman that you say he is, I would do that.
But the court has ordered you to facilitate that
I'm not
release.
the one making this decision. We have lawyers that don't want to do this.
But the buck stops in this office.
No. I follow the law. You want me to follow the law? If I were the president that just wanted to do anything, I'd probably keep him right where he is.
Supreme Court says what the law is.
Listen.
Yup. He admits on camera that he could comply with the court order. Just pick up the dang phone. But he won't. Blames the lawyers. Says he's following the law, but then turns around and says he has the power to break it if he wants. That's not law and order. That's a man trying to drive with the parking brake on and yelling at the engine. Hot tub intermission here. If you're enjoying this train wreck, go ahead and subscribe before Trump adds Photoshop expert to his resume. Trump's entire justification for deporting Kilmar Garcia? He claims Garcia's a gang member, specifically MS-13, and his proof? A tattoo on Garcia's fingers. Now, brace yourself. This is where it gets truly stupid. The tattoo in question? It's a smiley face, a skull, a cross, and a marijuana leaf. That's it, and Trump, with a straight face, says it spells MS-13. Then he holds up a photo at the Oval Office with the letters MS-1 and 3 literally photoshopped over the image. I mean, y'all. It's not even subtle. The photo was digitally edited and Trump acted like it was gospel truth. When a journalist pointed out the letters weren't actually tattooed on the man's hand, Trump says, "Don't do that, it says MS-13.
Of a gang. And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute
Well,
over that.
wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
Oh, he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not have the
do that.
letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
That was Photoshopped. So let me
That was Photoshop. Terry, you can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. I picked you, Terry, but you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed.
Right, we'll agree to disagree. I want to move on to something else.
Terry, do you want me to show you the picture?
I saw the picture. We'll
and you think it
agree
was
to disagree.
Photoshop? Well,
Here we go.
Don't Photoshop it. Go look at his hand. He had MS-13.
He did have tattoos that can be interpreted that way. I'm not an expert on them. I want to turn to Ukraine, sir.
Terry,
I want to get to Ukraine.
No. He had MS as clear as you can be, not interpreted. This is why people no longer believe the news, because
when
it's
he was
fake
photographed
news.
in El Salvador, they aren't there. But let's just go on. They aren't there when he's in El Salvador.
They weren't there, but they're there now, right?
No,
but
they're in your picture.
Terry,
Ukraine, sir.
He's got MS-13 on his knuckles.
All right.
Okay?
Well, we'll take a look at that.
You do such a disservice.
We'll take a look at that,
Why don't
sir.
you just say, yes, he does, and, go on to something else?
It's contested.
That's right. The President of the United States argued with reality like a drunk uncle at Thanksgiving. Experts have since come forward. Gang researchers, tattoo scholars, court-certified witnesses all say the same thing. These are not gang tattoos. One expert literally said these are more likely to be stoner doodles than gang signs. Hell, one tattoo artist said the symbols mean smoke pot, get high, love God till I die.
Stop being an idiot. A tattoo that has nothing to do with MS-13, that doesn't say MS-13, is not MS-13. This is what it means. Smoke pot, get high, love God until I die. That's what actual tattoo artists said that means. Tattoo artists who have tattooed that on other people before.
But Trump, in true fashion, doubled down, called it proof, called the courts fake, called the photos real. The only thing real here is the embarrassment, and here's the part that matters. By saying on TV that he has the power to bring Garcia back and then choosing not to, Trump nuked his own legal defense. His lawyers have been claiming he can't do it. Now judges are looking into whether he's in contempt of court. Subpoenas are flying. Discovery's underway. And Stephen Miller's name keeps popping up like a vampire in a garlic store.
It's been 50 days. 50 days of pain and suffering. 50 days of uncertainty. And as we finally saw the proof that Kilmar was alive, my children and I had to watch Trump and Bukele's administration laugh over pain.
Trump thought he could lie, meme, and bulldoze his way through another scandal. But this time, his big mouth and his bad Photoshop skills might have just landed him in the legal hot seat again. All over a tattoo that doesn't even say what it claims it does. Folks, if irony were water, this tub would have overflowed by now. Trump didn't just make up a gang tattoo, he might have turned a smiley face into federal evidence against himself. That's all for today, y'all. If you enjoyed this hot soaking absurdity, slap that subscribe button harder than Trump slaps digital filters on fake evidence. Stay warm, stay woke, and stay soaked. I'll see y'all next time in the tub.